This weekend is UFC OKC. Dricus Du Plessis takes on Kamaru Usman. And do I have to say it? Do I need to say it? I think this is going to be one-sided beatdown on the hands of Dricus Du Plessis. I think this is going to be 50-45 across all three scorecards. And I don't think it will be particularly close. And I'm not saying anything that the rest of you guys don't know. I think you're casual if you think Kamaru Usman has any type of chance against Dricus Du Plessis, especially this being at 185. Now, this is no disrespect to Kamaru Usman. He is one of the greatest welterweights of all time. In his prime, he was a dominant champion, elite wrestler, lethal striker. His striking caught up to his wrestling. And during his peak, he was getting guys out of there with his hands. He started using these hands. He was clobbering. But that version of Usman is gone, and the evidence is right in front of us. The decline has been real. Now, he did win his last fight against Buckley. He did look somewhat impressive. He did dominate him in the wrestling through all 5 rounds. If you look at that Buckley fight closely, even Usman did, although he defeated Buckley, he did resort entirely to wrestling. The striking exchanges went Buckley's way. If you looked at that fight, and what I saw there, even though Kamaru Usman looked dominant in his wrestling, what I saw was that he couldn't pose any danger on the feet, any danger on the feet. And whenever they got stood up and when they had striking exchanges, I was a little scared for Kamaru. He looked like an unk out there against Buckley in terms of just the striking exchanges. I just winced at times. It just looked like Kamaru Usman. He just doesn't look the same when you guys are on the feet. And you also saw this against Leon Edwards in his last fight, the trilogy fight. The striking weapons just weren't there for Kamaru Usman. He has become a guy who just resorts to his wrestling. Now, you could say that's age, bad knees, compromised mobility. His wrestling explosiveness is directly tied to his age. So you add that on, you add on these long layoffs that he's taking, and I just don't see any way he goes up against Dricus Du Plessis, who's probably a top three middleweight right now, top three middleweight. And it's just middleweight is a whole different game. And I think Kamaru Usman just giving away his size and physicality to a naturally bigger man. I think for Kamaru, one of the biggest things he had going for him at welterweight was his size and was his physicality. Drick is, as you guys know, is a physical specimen at 185. Usman is essentially a welterweight trying to compete. There's no way he's going to bulk up to the size of Dricus. Dricus is massive. And here's the thing. I just don't think that he can take Dricus down consistently the way Hamzat did. I think Hamzat was filled up to middleweight properly, and obviously I think Hamzat's wrestling is miles ahead of any of these guys. And although Dricus has had those weaknesses in his wrestling, only a guy like Hamzat could expose it to the level that he did. Only Hamzat could dominate him the way he did all 5 rounds in the wrestling. I don't think anybody could have done what Hamzat did to Dricus that night. And let's talk about Dricus. I think Dricus will dominate. I think his pressure, his physicality, there is no world where Usman will have an answer for that. I think striking exchanges will go Dricus' way every single time. Every single time. We're talking about a guy in Dricus who outstruck Sean Strickland. You hear what I'm saying? Sean Strickland, the middleweight champion, he outstruck him for 5 straight rounds. And Usman just cannot threaten him on the feet. He can't take him down consistently. I just think Dricus ends up just suffocating him for the entirety of the 5 round fight. And the biggest factor I haven't even spoke about is Dricus' hunger. Dricus is coming off an embarrassing loss to Hamzat Chimaev. It was one of the most highly anticipated fights of the year last year, and a lot of people had it 50-50. A lot of people thought that Dricus was going to be Hamzat's toughest test, and when we got to the fight, Dricus crumbled. He didn't crumble in the sense of his game plan didn't work or anything. He just had no answer for Hamzat's wrestling. And what I know about Dricus Du Plessis is one of his key aspects is his mentality. He had a full year to work on his holds, and I think he has been drilling those scenarios down where he's on the ground and trying to get up. And I think he knows exactly what his weaknesses are and has been able to fix it. I've been seeing some footage of his training, and I think he's coming back to make a statement. And that's the most dangerous version of any fighter. When someone has a point to prove, a chip on their shoulder, that is the most dangerous version of that fighter. Now, prediction, obviously, I got Dricus I have him by unanimous decision, 50-45 across all three scorecards. I have enough respect for Usman to know that he's probably going to survive. He has great survivability. He won't get finished on the ground. And I think he's tough enough to hang in there for the entirety of 5 rounds, even though he's going to get the living crap beat out of him. But I do have him losing every single round, and I think this is going to be Dricus's one of Dricus' best career performances to do this to a legend. So let me guys know what you guys think down. I think am I underestimating Usman? Is this fight more one-sided than people think? Just like how I think. Drop it in the comments down below. Subscribe for more UFC breakdowns, and I'll see you guys next time.